What is up? Welcome to the Got Keys channel. Thanks for tuning in. I got a wrestling video for you guys. So make sure if you're into wrestling content to subscribe to the channel. But I want to talk to you guys about a wrestler that I was a huge fan of. And, you know, it irks me because whenever we hear of this guy, it's always all bad, all negative. You know, nothing but that he was injury prone, he was stiff, and that's it. That's it. When we do hear of him, you know, because it's like he's disappeared from the business. You don't hear of him much. And a lot of other people were fans of this guy, even though they may act like they were not now. He was crazy over. And if you guys haven't guessed who I'm talking about Ahmed Johnson. Now, I will say, you know, since when he does come up, some interviews he's done, and when people speak of him more recently, it does seem to be kind of negative, like he's bitter towards the business. And, you know, that's something I'll want to talk about in other videos. But in this video, I'm just kind of trying to talk about that this guy was crazy over. And it just doesn't seem right to me, you know, that it's all bad when we hear of him. You know, it just doesn't really make sense. To me, this guy was huge and was really on the verge of breaking through to that next level. Now, Ahmed, you know, came into the WWE, give or take, mid-95 and was gone by like February of 98. And he just pretty much walked away from the business. He came back in WCW maybe a year or two later, very briefly. And, you know, for those who are or were fans of this guy, or just any wrestling fan, period, we would probably want to forget this because it was bad. It was all bad, the whole little WCW stint. And I mean really bad. But like I said, I want to talk about, you know, the good things that he did accomplish in wrestling. And, you know, the top accomplishment, the biggest thing that Ahmed did, and it was a huge accomplishment, was becoming the first black Intercontinental champion. And a lot of people, myself included, would probably debate with you that Ahmed was slated, you know, to possibly become the first black world champ. And had things played out differently, it may have very well happened. Some of those negative things that I, you know, brought up about being injury prone and stuff, I'm not saying that they, you know, are not true. As to becoming the world champ, you know, it seemed injury is what threw that off from possibly happening or just possibly breaking through to that next level multiple times. Now, all in all, like I said, Ahmed's run really was like mid-95 to early 98, around 3 years, give or take. And he started off on a super hot streak, you know, getting a push right from the beginning, being undefeated, body slamming Yokozuna, you know, working with some of the top guys, Razor, Shawn Michaels, Warrior, the list goes on and on. But he's undefeated, and he takes his first loss, 96, going into the, you know, King of the Ring in a qualifying round on Raw against Vader, who was then in Camp Cornette. Owen Hart interferes, jumps off the top rope, hits him with a cast. Vader picks up the win, and you might remember this storyline which set Ahmed up to win that Intercontinental champion and become the first black IC champ. When Goldust interfered, revived him with mouth-to-mouth, and Ahmed was not too happy about it. What do you think? Would that storyline go over well today or what? Or just the whole Goldust gimmick period with the homophobia and things like that? How would that play out in today's WWE?
Is still unconscious. They have not been able to bring him around. Johnson! He saved him! Oh, wait a minute. That's Goldust's dressing room. Stay out of there, Ahmed. Whoa!
So as you see, Ahmed Johnson was no slouch. He was over. I think this is not even a full year into his career. He's got the IC strap. He's in storylines with the top guys, you know, and he's almost, you seen, unstoppable. He's a powerhouse. He's the Pearl River powerhouse. He was one of the only other wrestlers that you would see almost kind of hulk up like Hulk Hogan used to do. I know that drove a lot of people crazy, but Ahmed Johnson used to hulk up as well. If Ahmed could hit that spine buster, the Pearl River plunge was coming and he was winning. So he gets the IC strap. On Raw, he wins a battle royal where the winner gets a world title shot the next night after SummerSlam. So he's got a world title shot coming against Shawn Michaels, who at this time he's in the storylines as being friends with, tag teaming with him. Everything's looking up, you know, and this is what I mean, where when you hear of Ahmed Johnson, people talk like he was just a nobody. It wasn't that way. Now, as I said, I'm going to do other videos regarding Ahmed Johnson behind the scenes, things that other wrestlers have said about him and what Ahmed has said since wrestling. But getting back to what's going on here, he enters a feud where him, Shawn Michaels, and was supposed to be the Ultimate Warrior, but Warrior left the company and was replaced by a returning Psycho Sid, are feuding with Camp Cornette, Vader, British Bulldog, and Owen Hart, and they go against them in a 6-man tag at International Incident. And don't forget, Ahmed is supposed to get that world title shot the night after SummerSlam versus Shawn Michaels. Now, many people, like I said in the beginning of this video, myself included, feel like Ahmed possibly would have been billed to become the world champ, the first black world champ, as well as IC champ, you know, feuding with Shawn Michaels. No one knows what was going to happen. You know, Vince changes storylines very often. Many people thought it would end in a double disqualification or something like that, that would have kept him and Shawn, you know, being friends but competing against each other, and would be a build up to maybe WrestleMania or something like that. But who knows what would have happened, because it never ended up happening. Shawn Michaels and Ahmed Johnson, world and intercontinental champion, team up against the Smoking Guns for the world tag team titles on Raw. And this is where it kind of all went bad for Ahmed Johnson, and things never really got back to this point where he was getting, you know, pushed to the sky. All right, so you guys see that footage there. Ahmed Johnson, Shawn Michaels, IC and world champs teaming together against the heel Smoking Guns, managed by Sonny. Shawn gets the hot tag to Ahmed. Ahmed comes in, regulates on everyone, ready to hit his finisher, ends up outside of the ring. Ron Simmons, Farouk, whatever you want to call him, coming into the WWE, interferes, and like I said, it all goes bad. Ahmed Johnson actually gets kidney problems. And these two seem to really hate each other in real life. There is some real genuine heat there. And like I said, I'm going to do more videos about Ahmed outside of the ring, in the locker room, heat, beef kind of stuff. But anyways, this spoiled it all. He never got the world title shot against Shawn Michaels. He ended up dropping that IC title due to injury. And when he came back, he was still popular, but he was, you know, in a almost seemed like a permanent feud with the Nation of Domination, which was, you know, Farouk, Savio Vega, D'Lo Brown, and Crush originally. And then at one point, when, you know, they repackaged the stable, Ahmed Johnson actually turns heel and joins the Nation.
The WWF
Now, forgive me because I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but this was after some time of coming back from that injury and feuding with the Nation. He did appear at WrestleMania 13, fighting against the Nation of Domination with the Legion of Doom and in a Chicago street fight. But then he ends up here joining the Nation, turning on The Undertaker, who once again was the champion, one of the top guys in the company at the time, and once again is set for a world title shot at one of the, biggest pay-per-views of all time, Canadian Stampede. But Ahmed Johnson ends up being injured again. Vader takes his spot. And, everyone remembers the USA versus Canada match at that pay-per-view. But Ahmed Johnson was once again set to get a world title shot. A lot of debate if he was going to become the first black champ here or not. It's Conrad from the Something to Wrestle With podcast. I actually have talked with through DMs with him, and they never covered it. He said they were going to cover that on a show, but he claims that Bruce Pritchard says Ahmed wasn't going to win the title there. But still, this guy's getting elevated to the top of the card again, joins the Nation, turns heel. And if you recall, later on down the road, The Rock joins the Nation, and ends up taking it over, becoming the leader. And, we all know what happened with The Rock. Now, obviously, The Rock's one of the biggest superstars ever of all time. I'm not saying, Ahmed Johnson would have had the exact same path, but it's clear, multiple times this guy was pushed in the storylines, and the fans loved him too, But, he ended up getting kicked out of the Nation after he came back from came back from injury. That storyline was pretty much dropped when it ended up going back to beefing with the Nation of Domination, and, just kind of ended up fading away. Like I said, I'm skipping around here, but ended up fading away and then walked away from the company. There's a lot of different stories, as to what exactly happened there. Ahmed Johnson says his sister was sick with cancer and ended up passing away. There's other people that say he was set to have to put China over. There was other stuff, that there was supposedly other storylines that he didn't want to do. We don't know exactly what happened, but I just wanted to make this video, like I said, because I am aware, Ahmed has kind of made it clear since he has spoke to the wrestling media and the internet, in the more recent years. He has a lot of bad things to say about a lot of people. He does seem bitter. I don't know that this was necessarily the way this guy always was, but I just wanted to point out Ahmed Johnson, wasn't just this stiff, horrible wrestler, who was just one of the worst guys ever to me. You guys let me know what you think. I felt like, it was worth going over these different points in this guy's career. First black Intercontinental champ. Maybe he was set to be the first black world champ. Let me know your guys' thoughts on everything I covered. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of content with these wrestling videos. I'd like to make more. I did a couple other ones on this channel recently, and they seem to have some success. So please subscribe to this channel, the Got Keys platform. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. Peace.